ام بردامین لفدره تدکس جی بردام سپیکر جی بردام بچن سر استیج اختن خواب پیشکش دیکن چی روکا خواه سر کفتن پیشکش دیکن یک جه وان سپیکرین کنها میوانه لروداوه برز هانا جاف كدوار السياسة داو روها كارن خرخازي وهناك شالك يندن ده أو أكتيفة بخير بي أفادا پیشکش کردی تا چی روکا خواه سر کفتنه گوت بوچه تخواست گنج بزانن چاوا هانا جاف سرکتیه آرمان جاتا چه بوش بجداری که ندید تدکس نشتیمان ده
I want to be an inspiration. I want to see that anyone that has a dream, that has a goal, can pursue it with education. The key to my success was always education. You know, they sometimes they give you a hard time. People will be envious of your dreams, and they'll try to put you down and tell you it's not possible, just like it happened to me. And ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be part of the public service, and I wanted to help other people and have a charity foundation and be involved in politics. And what I did was I studied. I tried to get into the best universities. I went to try to go to the best schools, and that's how I graduated from my bachelor's and then my master's degree, and then I moved to Mexico City 4 years ago, and the only thing I had was my academic resume. I didn't know anybody aside from my college friends, but they didn't work in the same occupation or field as me, and they were I got to Mexico City, and I would go to all the institutions, to all the government departments and all the secretariats, and in this case the ministries here in translation, and I would leave my resume. And one day I got a call from the ruling party, and they're like, you know what, I think you fit a good profile for being Undersecretary of Immigrants in the ruling party. And I had never worked before. All I had was my resume, and when I got to the interview, they told me, you know why we picked you? And I said, why? Because there is not a lot of people that had the experience, the work experience, but you had a higher education. So I didn't have the contacts, I didn't have the work experience, but I had education. So that's my message today. My message today is the importance of education in today's society.
طول سر کار خواه جبلی سیاست اما بحث کارتا بکن توی واردا ل کارتا از بجم فاوندیشن که تا و که رکراوه که هی هر سر پرورده هر تو کار رکراوه چیه هر جبو زاروکن مکسیکو ستیه یا جبو نف دولت یا جبو کردان اجبر تو بخواه کردی.
Okay. Well, Jaff Foundation, I founded it 4 years ago. It was one idea, one cause, one small office. I started trying to get volunteers with me. Nobody wanted to. I started to get donations. Nobody believed in me because I didn't have a resume. You know, it's hard to donate to someone that doesn't have, you know, a background, you know. So even the legal, making it legal in Mexico was a hard process, you know. They make it very hard for you. So it was like, okay, so I tried, you know, when I was in my job as undersecretary, I saw the need of people not being able to communicate. You know, English is a universal language. You know, it's very important, and especially for those resettling in the United States, you need to have some basics in order to defend your human rights. So what I did was in my spare time, I started writing English books. And then I got like 10 donations, 20 donations, 30 donations, 40 donations, and today in 4 years we've given out 80,000 copies, you know, just by knocking on doors. And not only that, but from one person it became 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. Now we're in 20 states in Mexico. We are 7,000 volunteers, and my story and my conferences inspired others to get involved in philanthropy and giving and being active, you know. If I wouldn't have done this charity organization, they wouldn't be helping out today. That's what many of my volunteers have said, you know, like you inspired me. So now we have Jaff Foundation in the north and south of Mexico, and people that I don't even know, they only hear about me through social media, and they're now part of this organization. And yes, the Kurdistan as well. We have a team here, and the English books is also there's a version in Kurdish. So we have given out here in Kurdistan as well.
باشا. دست بك دم تو شو مكسيكي تكسنا ناس تكر. بوتا جهك نيبو. وكأنك صناهي بويا يعني هنجي جالك زحمة ببوتا تشوش يايد جنجها كنودا مروفين نو ببي مروفين خو ببي خزمن خو كتشك بتشوك دز بكارك وصل مازن بكي وبشرة هيدي مازن بكي.
Well, I grew up in the United States and my mother was Mexican, but my mother's family lives in the border from San Diego to Tijuana. So it wasn't really Mexico City, you know? So I went to the capital because I wanted to pursue my political career. That's where, you know, the capital city is based, you know, the politics is based there. So I moved there and it was very hard. You know, there was a lot of like, first people will bully you, laugh at you, tell you that there's no way. They'll say like, oh, get in line, you know, you'll never be a candidate congresswoman, you'll never be a secretary or undersecretary, and I have been all of those things. You know, but it wasn't like nothing of that was given to me. I would read every day and I would be like, okay, so this is Mexican government, these are the laws, these are the initiatives that I have, this is what I can do. You know, this is the extra part of me that I want to give, you know, the difference that I want to make. I got there with so much hope and so many, that drive, that always like, it didn't matter how many people, you know, bullied me, because I was bullied not only by Mexicans, I was bullied by Kurds in Mexico. People telling me like, using my studies against me, using my heritage against me. You know, people trial you. They'll put your who you are in doubt. So you have to just remain strong, and knowing who I was and the knowledge and the education that I got for myself is what gave me that confidence to even sit face to face with the president. You know, so that's what I recommend.
تو المكسيك جهات الأمريكا جيايا راهو رشال أنت كردينا. تو چتشت يهف بار يهف بش الجل جنجن كردستان تبيني جنجن أمريكا وجنجن مكسيكي يعني تو چتشت جدا جد بيني يدياري.
Okay. Well, I see very similar my Kurdish side and my Mexican side. You know, we're all big families. My parents are conservative, and my father is a very proud Kurdish man, and he would always take me to our cultures, traditions, you know, holidays. I would always come back to Kurdistan. I was always aware of who I was, of my family members, and you know, just like the thing that I realized that the key to their successful marriage is respect. You know, both of them wouldn't forget who they were, and both of them accepted who they were. You know, so they taught me that, and I always had to sort of juggle between them. You know, it always depended on who I was speaking to, who I was. You know, if I was speaking with a Mexican, oh, you know,
you're a Mexican,
and you know, and we do this, and we believe in this, and this, and this, and we're Kurdish. And then in the States, when I was speaking to American, I was from San Diego, you know, and it was always hard on me as a child, and as a child I was very confused. You know, I didn't know when somebody told me like, oh, you know, pick your flag, I didn't know which one to get, you know, but it wasn't until I read
which one to pick.
Yes. As a child I did, you know, like I didn't know which one though, and I didn't want to pick one. I would never say I was more one than the other. I never forgot my Kurdish
What about
side,
now?
You know, and no, I pick all three.
All three.
And they're all dear to me in my heart, and I have always said that I was born in the States, I live in Mexico, and I want to die in Kurdistan.
دير بيت جدا ناخذين بقوان دير بيت بحثا جنجن كردستان بكين جلك هنا حاجة كار السياسة تذكر تظاني دماغو أمن فدري أمش دايق بين كرد هر يكش ما خدي كيسا كردية جرمة تبيجي جنجن كرد شو بكين شو بيكو هبونك أكتيف يا نفشات يا ديار وأشكرا هدي تندجيانا السياسة دال كردستان.
You know, education will cause peace and prosperity everywhere. You know, if you see economies in the world, successful economies, and peaceful economies and peaceful countries, it's because their citizens are well educated and united. And education brings unity. It tears down walls, it tears down bans. So my advice to all youth is that study as long as you can. I know there are difficult circumstances. I know there are people that will tell you be realistic and I can't pay for school or I can't do, but I know Kurdistan has education is free. And Mexico is free until 12th grade and there are free universities, but it's up to you.
دل مکسیک دیتیه او تو نفوره پرورده دایجی که نرینه دا چل سر اصل پرورده هر کردستان هی.
I'm happy that there is a system that we follow because in many villages I am aware that education is prohibited to women in the Middle East and maybe refugees, there's a percentage for refugees that only 1% of refugees actually get a higher education. So I am aware that, you know, the Ministry of Education in Kurdistan is the largest. So that speaks very well for itself. I'm very happy for that. So I just hope that everyone that has an opportunity to study. But I do know that there is a lot of child labor.
تو لگور شو پاندناتا بو روشه گلک بیجن دمنینه وقت کش پرسینه بیجن هیا بناریناتش برکوت تو نوا سیاست دا کار دیگه نه دمک درستش بی انجام نگشت پرسیه انجام نگشت پرسیش وجود ابو نجی عراقی یا باش بر کردستانه یانجی نه یانجی تو چت بیجی خلکه درباره وی کده.
Yes, I am pro-independence, and I always am aware of it, and I'm always supporting it. Just a little bit ago, I was in England, and I was a part of a manifestation of asking for Kurdish independence. And not only that, anywhere I'm based, including Mexico City, I always do Kurdish awareness events. You know, people at the beginning would say like, "Where's Kurdistan? What is that? What are you?" You know, they would look at me funny, and they couldn't pronounce my name. They would say Hanna Jaff. Yes, and but I was always proud, you know, and I did this Kurdish festival in Mexico. It was the largest Kurdish festival ever made outside of Kurdistan. 80,000 people, and I brought 200 Kurds to Mexico, and it was because of to promote Kurdistan, you know, and I would tell people like, yes, it's not an independent country, but we are working towards it every day. You know, I think that we've been processing, but I think there's still a lot we should do in order to get independence.
گلکس پاس بوده هانا جاف شاءالله جوان هروها سیاست جوان گلکس پاس تو القلب میوان رودای بود.
Thank you.